I really I should have picked up the animal theme.
I
have so many questions.
What I feel like we need to start with is
okay,
what did you think was going on?
Let's start with who are you, and then let's go to what happened.
Well, first off, we're here for the Pawlywood Podcast.
We forget to say it every time.
We're
you
here.
We're
talking
on the video.
about.
You know what's happening.
We're here for animal movies. In case you didn't know, and yeah, we're talking about animal movies, and this one doesn't have pause.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Sydney, and today we have a guest. Yeah, who are you? What's your deal?
I'm Liam. I'm a college friend of Shannon and Sydney's. We were in a film fraternity together, and I realized the three of us spent a lot of Sundays together, just the three of us.
Yep. I was thinking about that recently.
We did.
So it kind of feels right that we're right back here.
Oh my god, wait.
Yeah. Liam is here because he texted us saying, what do I have to do to get on the podcast after you saw us log the Meg on Letterboxd, I'm guessing?
I saw it pop up, you guys saw it, and I did not think anybody in my life cared about that movie, other than me and my mother. So I was really happy, and I knew you guys did the podcast, and I was like, this is just I have to try. So.
And you sent that less than an hour after we finished recording it.
Yeah, because this is what we do: is we get together and watch them at the same time so that we can jump straight into recording. Because I live an hour away from Sydney, so it's once I drive all the way down there, we make a day of it. So it was just
Shark
missed
Day.
us.
You just missed Shark Day.
Shark Day.
Shark Day.
It was Shark Weeks. Yeah.
But we had a.
You remember that from the Cineminer? We have a new one now. No one's stepping on him this time. There for so long. But yeah, so we were well, come for Meg 2, because we'll do that one and we haven't done it already. So yeah.
Yep.
We saw Meg 2 at 10 o'clock in the morning in 3D.
On a Sunday, yeah.
On a Sunday.
Wait, it's 3D. I didn't even know they did that anymore.
Right?
I don't really know that
I didn't know they did that at all at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And there were other people in the theater, which was the weirdest part. I was
Not
I know
many.
why we're here at 10 a.m., but more than there should have been.
Yeah.
For the movie that it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talk a little bit about what you thought or did not think our podcast was, if you don't mind.
I thought you guys were roommates.
I don't even live in the same city.
No.
I know. And I really should have known that. Because
That's
you
funny.
guys, don't even go to the same school. So that, yeah.
I
One
don't
of us
even
doesn't
go to
a
school.
Okay. Maybe in my head I was romanticizing,
We were roommates before.
We were
so I can
roommates.
see, I feel we would be roommates if I didn't live in Orange.
Yeah.
So I could see how you would get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I know what everyone's up to? No. So that's fair. It's funny, but fair enough.
Yeah.
And I just thought Pawlywood. Okay, Sydney, you love your dogs.
Yeah.
Always post about them. So I just thought
all I do lately is post about animals in general. Which
so you thought we named a podcast after Sydney's dogs, but it had nothing to do with dogs.
Inspired.
Inspired by
it is
Shannon,
inspired by animals.
Did you meet my dogs when they showed up?
Yeah, when your dad showed up with them.
But yeah, my dogs
just hung out with your dad.
My dad just let the dogs off leash and let them roam around campus, and he it was they were on a campus tour, and he took pictures of them going by the clock tower and by the Ezra Cornell statue. He made them pose, and then he just sat on the art squad, and everyone came up and said hi to them, and they had a really good time. Did you think we just talked about my dogs every week?
Well, I thought maybe.
Oh yeah, so you thought it was a movie podcast, right?
Oh yeah, just strictly
okay
movies, and I don't really know why I just assumed you did Groundhog Day. I thought maybe it was February. Was it February? Was it around Groundhog Day at least?
No, it was May.
Well,
That
then,
one is the least animal movie of the bunch. I
right?
was a little
Yeah.
on the fence, but yeah, the other ones that you've like seen us all log together, like
Are
Love on a
all
Leash,
very animal. Cats.
What else have you
very
done?
animal. I remember you texted me when we all logged Love on a Leash on the same day because
Yeah.
that was an
Yeah.
Avi Noah
This will be episode
guest.
19.
Yeah.
Wow.
We started
I
in
know.
January, I think. Well, I guess we should talk about, the movie we're actually here for.
Yeah, I think it's outfit time.
I think it's outfit time. Yeah. Who wants to outfit first?
Yeah, mine is just like, Hawaiian shirt. Nothing else to it. I didn't have anything like shark themed but I felt like this is what they were wearing on Fun Island. Like when they were
Yeah.
on the hour.
Fun I forgot it was called that.
I also
That's
did.
so
I have
good.
so much to say about
Maybe
Fun
it's a
Island
real
when we
place.
get there. Like
Amazing.
Yeah.
I spent too much time getting ready and didn't write any notes down. So I'm glad you have things to say.
I wrote some notes like in the movie theater as soon as the movie ended. So I have a little bit to say. It's mostly just like I can't believe this is happening.
What's your
Okay,
outfit?
so I actually have a lot of shark themed stuff, but because this is somehow the fourth shark movie that we've done on this podcast,
Yeah.
I'm like fresh out. So today, I am cosplaying as Jason Statham, basically in the exact, amount of gear that he wore to free dive at 25,000 feet. Because it's basically this. Like, there's not much more.
that scene.
That's
I
gonna
mean, like,
be, yeah, there's so
again,
much to
so
say.
much to say, yeah.
Sydney, what are you dressed as?
Oh my god.
Liam, do you have any guesses? Any guesses on what I am?
Oh. The woman whose dog jumps
I've
in the water.
exhausted him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I didn't really remember what she wore, so I just went with like a, like a flowy thing, some sunglasses, a little. This is the only dog that I had. It's not really the right kind. And then I remembered I have a dog whistle necklace. So when Pippin runs off to the shark, I can say, "Come on back, come here." There you go.
I honestly thought the dog was gonna get it this time. Like it was such a deranged movie that I was like, they might just eat the dog. But
It just felt like if it survives like fully going like into the mouth of the shark in the first one, like this dog has
Yeah.
like superpowers. I don't think it could like be vanquished.
I hope Meg 3 is the dog versus the shark. Or just like the dog becomes the monster. But it doesn't change at all.
Yeah.
It's still the same exact dog in size. It's just on
That
a
would be
rampage.
you guys have like the first Meg is so fresh in your guys' mind, so you might have to like remind me of a lot of things, but
Not that much happened. There was just a shark, and then there was another shark.
Yeah.
It's kind of it.
I do have like things to say about like the first and the second one because I felt like they were very different, but again, we'll get there. Yeah.
That'll be for perspective.
Okay.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you look at do you have any questions about our segment sheet?
Yeah, wait, I have it.
Correct answer is no
No,
questions. It all
no
made
questions.
sense.
No, it
Everything-
makes perfect sense, and I'm ready for every single segment. And I have 10 trivia questions, so I did prepare.
Oh, incredible.
Oh, I'm excited.
You don't even, I mean, the real one that you definitely shouldn't have questions for is where's the train go?
I kept like looking at that one like I'm sure it'll make sense to me eventually.
As if you were the problem.
It's self-explanatory. Where does the train
Yeah,
go?
yeah, I was gonna say I'm taking it at face value.
Where would you put a train?
Yeah.
Well, yes, the recap. Let's talk about it. How did this movie start? I'm asking because I don't remember.
It's a really good question.
Anyone remember?
Eco.
So
Like,
oh wait, yeah.
we open on Jason Statham and it seems like it's gonna be like a character drama, and then it says never minds.
Is that when he's in the shipping container? And he bursts out and then like takes over a ship.
Yeah.
How did he get
And
it?
he has like a bird, and there's like a really too long bit of him like talking to the bird.
Oh yeah.
For no reason.
How long was he in the shipping container? is my question.
A while.
Yeah.
Because like they
It's like a
were out in
20-minute.
the ocean. I feel like he's been there for days.
I didn't really understand what was happening, to be honest.
They
It's like,
were
where's the Meg?
these evil men were dumping toxic waste, into the ocean, and he
Hmm.
had to get pictures.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah, and then he had like some sick one-liners before he like
yeah,
jumped, like backflipped into the ocean before they could shoot him or whatever. I don't remember what he said. I feel like it was really stupid. And then it's like Meg 2, the trench. Oh, is that when we got like it just turned into 65 for a minute? Like it was like 65 million years ago, and it shows like a bunch of dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a bunch of
I
CG.
also did.
That like did not belong at all. Like they just wanted dinosaurs to be in the movie, and they were like, we gotta find a way to put dinosaurs here and make no one have
I
questions about it.
completely forgot about that entire element of it. Yeah, I was not expecting this to be our second movie that we've covered where there's a title screen that says 65 million years ago there were dinosaurs.
wait, did you
Oh my
see
god, I didn't
65
rank.
too? Though
Yeah, that was our Talia episode because she loves Adam
Oh,
Driver.
with that's right.
Yeah, we brought her
It
on
was
to
my
tell us.
worst movie of the year.
Yeah, it was
I gotta
really
rank
good.
this one. This might be right next to it.
I
No,
just
this
want to
is
say,
far
like,
better than 65. 65 was unwatchable.
That's true. It was really hard
Leah
to get
ends up
through.
watching this. I just want to say that every movie she logs on Letterboxd is a thirst watch. Every single one. And I want that to be on the record.
Yeah, that tag pops up a lot. It's thirst watch and unexpected thirst watch.
Unexpected. Yeah.
He does that. He like takes his pictures and dives off the boat. And then there's the dinosaurs, and we learned that animals went on land. Was that the fish going on land?
Yeah, but I was like, it's just like, yeah, evolution. Like,
In case
and
anyone.
then they kept evolving and they stopped being dinosaurs, I thought, but I guess not. Yeah, they just wanted dinosaurs in the movie. That's basically it. Like,
Wasn't
one
it
way or
okay?
another.
Maybe I don't remember if I'm remembering this right from oceanography, but
Not again.
didn't like aren't whales descended from deer?
Oh, I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah. That, like
Yeah.
the deer decided to go back and or like they're just from the same thing. It's not like
Yeah,
a
it's like
deer
part of
turned
the
into a
same
whale. They're
tree.
both from it's like a P, something with a P. It's like a
Yeah.
Pachys or
Yes.
something. And then they just some of them decided let's go in the ocean and they turned into whales. And then the ones that stayed on land turned into deer.
Either you're exactly right and your memory is amazing, or we're having like a shared delusion because I know
I think
exactly
I
what
think
you're
I'm right
talking about.
because it's they've
Yeah.
got the
I love
holes behind the eyes. They have,
Yeah.
like the little yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't really have anything to do with this, but I just
Fun
'cause
to
I was
know.
I think I was thinking of, oh, the fish coming out of the water. What about the water coming? The fish coming out of the water. What about animals going into the water? There we go.
Mm,
That's what I was thinking about.
yeah. But yeah,
I'm
so
full of science facts
Yeah.
that could be
Um,
true or maybe not.
just like yay or nay in real
Yeah.
life.
And
Some
we're not
people
gonna
call it lying.
See, there are so many things though that I genuinely think are true that I'm remembering. And then it's like, no, I have no idea where that came from. So I don't think this is one of those things, but who knows?
So we meet the rest of the crew, and it's like, where's Su Yin? You know, like one of the main characters from the first movie, big love interest. And we get like 30 minutes in before we go to some gala, and they're like, yeah, so she died, moving on. Like, it's barely addressed. It's
Yeah.
clearly they just couldn't get the actress, but like,
And it wasn't like they didn't give her
confused.
any sort of death. They were just like, yeah, she just randomly died a couple years ago.
Yeah, they didn't
Like,
even say
it's-
she died. They just put a photo of her with like birth date and like death date.
Yeah, I
And
think it
that
was
was
like
it.
2021 she died.
Yeah.
Or
And then
At
her
Least
kid
never
is
get eaten
now
by like a shark or something. Like make it the
right. Like say something. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's such a non-event.
When they introduce her, well, right after they introduce her brother, and like I said, I hadn't seen the first one in a while, So I'm like, was this dude in the first one? Like,
I
they
also
did
couldn't
not
remember.
He
bring back like
wasn't, right?
they brought back what, 2 people from the first one?
They brought back
Yeah, it's Jason Statham and like the kid.
and the guy, the other, I don't remember what his name is, but he's like
The
Jason
guy.
Statham's friend.
Mac and
Yeah, another one.
I don't
Mac
know
and the one,
I didn't know who any of these people were.
the one who's learned self-defense in this time because
Yes.
he's like,
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't remember
yeah.
his name.
Right.
They're back.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that
so-
other one too because at the end of the first one, he like solemnly toasts, like all the other people are
Oh,
like
yeah.
toasting to life, and he's like, to the friends we've lost, and you think, man, he actually cares about all these people that died, and then he, within 3 seconds, turns around and starts flirting with girls in bikinis,
Yeah.
and that's how it ends.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a big thing now that like Jason Statham is just kind of this girl's dad now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, okay, sure. What's her name?
I don't remember.
Mei Ying.
Yang.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so he's just kind of Mei Ying's dad, and like it's never explained, but yeah.
And she's
sure.
like really full of herself. She thinks she knows everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of
She's-
does though, because whenever they get into a
Yeah.
situation, she's like the only one that like has a brain.
Fair. But could she
Yeah.
free dive at 25,000 feet? Like, I don't think she could. She's
No,
not
when
Yeah.
she's like never been there before.
We'll get
Yeah,
there.
so then they have their little like fun ball gala thing, which I think is just like science and saving the environment. We're doing it. And then
Yeah. Oh, and they're like Megs are everywhere now. Like it's just sort of part of the world of the story that like there's like a million of them now, and it's like not really a big deal.
but they have this one in a big pond that
Yeah.
that is our training.
And that one is our friend.
That one's our friend because
Like
he
that one has
listened-
been trained by the uncle.
That was wild when he was like, I'm just gonna go out there and see what happens. Look, like it's gonna listen to me. My like 12-year-old niece, watch, it's gonna go well. Maybe. And then she's like watching him nearly get eaten after like her mom and her grandpa are dead too. Like, what? Why did he do that? Why did he say, watch this, and then swim out to the Meg? That attitude really follows us through the whole movie of just like, let's see what let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Nothing could go
It's
wrong.
just gonna wait. Yeah.
But then they're like,
So-
Wait, I don't really understand why they did anything in this movie. Like, why did they go down to the trench to begin with?
they were
I think it was
exploring
just meant to be like
right?
a standard research mission. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because
I think they
the
have
kid
this-
was like,
They have their new like research station, and then they're exploring the trench because they've built like ships that can go through the thermocline, and so now they're like discovering things, and so they go down. I don't know where Shannon went.
I had
There
to
you
plug
are.
my laptop in.
So I think they've gone down to like learn because they're like mapping it out, and that's the problem is when
Oh.
the brother's like, we got to chase down this Meg that I see or whatever. They're like, that's uncharted territory. We don't know where you're going.
Yeah, she's like, it's fine that I'm here. This is like a really standard dive. You've done like a million of these. So like
Yeah.
it's not like this is the one that's gonna have something really, really bad happen. And also, I packed myself an Iron Man suit. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Of course things go horribly wrong. The thermocline is broken or whatever. The Megs are loose.
The shark breaks
Uh,
out.
Yeah, the captive
Oh,
trained
yeah.
shark is
Yeah.
on the loose. Great plan all around.
And the entire time they're down there, they're not at all worried that high key broke out. They're like, oh, she followed us here. Like,
Yeah.
we'll figure that out later.
They're like, yeah, what a silly shark, our silly
Yeah.
little pet. We love him.
Yeah. Gotta worry about the other Megs, but High Tea is just fine. Like
Yeah, she won't
just
hurt us. She
chaperoning
loves us.
Yeah. We have the little clicker that she hears and then goes away. Yeah, so I don't know, they crash at the trench or whatever, right? They end up in the bottom of the trench, and I forgot there was like an espionage plot, and that's like the main plot for like half the movie. I fully forgot about that.
Yeah, well, they go down there and they're like, there's a heat signature or something. I don't know how science works like that. And they're like, but we found this thing, and it's a station down here. Why is that here? How did that get here? And then they're like, let's check it out. And they like move a little closer, and then the other guy blows them up.
Yeah, just like kills his whole team.
He's just like, I'm gonna blow it up. And everyone's like, can you not? Because like one, you're gonna kill everyone. And two, then they know we're here.
So it turns out that there's like there's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this also. It turns out that like one of the people that's from their like base or whatever, she's like secretly working with this other guy who's like trying to sabotage them. And she has like her big villain moment of like, I did that. Like it's so dumb. But then they're basically stuck on like the floor of the trench with no help because she like crashes their lifeboats or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really. I think she destroys the like extra sub that could have gone down and gotten them.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So Jason Statham is like, fine, we'll walk across the floor of the trench because we have Iron Man suits.
Everyone put on your little outfits.
It's like 2 miles too, which is
like
the way they were moving, I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, they're like, it's 2 miles and we only have, X amount of minutes of oxygen. It's gonna be close.
They're like, it'll never work. He's like, we'll do it. Because I mean, to be fair, there is not a better option. So like, I get why he's like, we might as well try because we're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
But it is sort of just a silly scene to see as they all walk out of the submarine in their mech suits.
I believe his name is Lance, the guy who like the sucker jumps on his face or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Not built to be down there. I mean, he cannot calm down. Like
no. Well, there was the whole bit too about like he was getting made fun of for being a nerd. I was like, you're all nerds.
Yeah.
Even Jason Statham.
That's true.
You're all studying, you're all like piloting these subs and going down to the ocean. That's like nerd behavior. So what if he has some action figures?
Comic-Con or something, yeah.
I know, she's like, did you go to Comic-Con? Haha, like you're such a loser. Like, okay. I feel like you're more of a loser for not having any personality besides me.
Who was in the shipping container for like 5 hours? Like
yeah, none of them are cool.
No, so they're like walking on the trench, and then they haven't heard from the uncle's ship, right?
Oh yeah, there's like 2 ships.
They're like,
I think he died.
But then he also just walks up.
Yeah, he's totally
There's
fine.
a reunion on the ocean floor.
Yeah. But then they literally get into like a fist fight with dinosaurs, which is just so insane. Like there's those stupid little dinosaurs that we saw in the very beginning where we forgot that was like a scene that happened, and then suddenly they're getting like attacked by like ocean dinosaurs, and they're literally like fist fighting them in the mech suits.
I don't understand how those work. I mean, okay, past fist fighting them, ignore that part. Just like, how were they down there? Because like, I thought they were kind of reptiles, and like, yeah, a alligator can sit at the bottom of a pond for a while, but like at some point, right, it's got to come up for air.
It's got to come up for air, yeah.
And so these things have been trapped down there for. But they can also go on the land. I don't know, but they've been trapped down there for 65 million years. Why? How?
Go through the thermocline. That's the whole point.
And like a shark can swim that deep, but not those things. Like
the idea of the film seems to be the thermocline is sort of like a magical like. It's like the in like Annihilation, like the shimmer. it's just like a
Yes.
magical sphere and like weird
Yeah.
stuff happens in there. Like that's what this movie thinks the thermocline
It would have been
is.
wild if the megalodon
Anything
started
that-
screaming and it was her mom's voice.
Oh my God, the only thing that could have been better. They somehow make it all the way across. They're getting attacked again. I don't know. They get into like the other sub that they were walking to that's gonna like be able to go back up to the surface, I guess. And somebody's like head explodes because she doesn't get in like just in time. So it's like literally set up to show, look how much pressure is down here. You can't survive without a mech suit on.
Yeah.
Look at it. Like, why is that scene there? Why is that scene there? Just to establish something that we're going to break in 5 minutes. It's like,
Statham is built different. Like they just need a hand.
Also, at this point,
he's built so different.
the people are dropping like flies. There's like 5 deaths in 5 minutes, and it seems very intense. And then after they like get back to the surface, nobody dies for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like they took the climax and they put it in the middle of the movie, and then they were like, well, you know, the climax was originally in the trench, so we're just gonna leave the title as like the trench. Even though, yeah, the whole second half of the movie, that was just the midpoint where nothing happened. We're just gonna put it at the end because we feel like it, and don't worry about it. Yeah, the pacing of this movie is crazy. The structure is crazy. Everything is crazy. Are we at the craziest scene now? Have we made it to that
I think
point?
so. So they
We
like
have.
they like somehow break into this like secret thing in the bottom of the ocean that's mining or like doing work that's bad. And then that's when the girl has her moment where she's like, I'm the bad guy. I'm turning off all of this. And I'm gonna flood it and kill you. And Jason Statham's like, no, you won't. let me walk there again.
They start filling up that like area, and then like he goes out, or they give like he's basically he's like, okay, I'll go out there, like, and they're like, you can't, like it's not physically possible.
You'll explode.
Yeah, and then I think Mac was like, actually, like, hold on. And he's basically like explaining this bullshit science like behind. He's
like,
if
oh,
you
the pressures,
his sinuses and Jason Statham was like breathing out blood through his nostrils.
Yeah, they put him in like a little container. And can someone explain to me why the submarine has a flood with water button? Like, I don't think that's been talked about enough. I want to talk about it.
That was like a fail-safe for if a villain ever tried to take over, they would have something to do.
People really quickly.
Yeah.
I totally
so
missed
ridiculous.
That. That's a really good question. Because there's never
so they put him in a little
you
chamber. Yeah, and they flood it with water so that he can like fill his sinus cavities with water. Because everyone knows the reason that you explode if you're
okay. No,
feet.
there is a reason why there would be flood with water.
Okay.
But it's like I feel like it's the same situation as the space thing, like a space station or whatever, where there's like a little compartment where you put on your suit and then they close the like spaceship part and then they open it up, so like it's still, so I feel like if you were to open it up underwater, then all the water comes in and it's crazy. But if you like, then you can just swim on out, like how theoretically if you crash your car into a lake, if it's easier to open the door when it's like fully full with water instead of I don't know if that's true. I feel like that is the same idea.
Oh, this is disappointing. I really wanted it to be just like more nonsense.
It's absurd.
I guess that makes sense. It's still weird.
Even so, I can't imagine anybody has tried this in real life. Like,
yeah. I also feel like that's not why they did it. Like, I feel like it's sort of an accident that it is like explainable. Because I don't think they thought about it that much. They're like, the reason you explode if you're underwater at 25,000 feet, it's just because there's air in your lungs. So if you make sure that's all gone, you'll be fine. And again, with the thermocline, is it supposed to be hot or cold at this point? Because
Warm.
like, okay, I was gonna say, because shouldn't he also like freeze instantly?
No,
Okay, so it's fine because of the they're in the thermocline at this point.
Yeah, I think
They're not like
it's like a
beneath it.
super cold barrier that like prevents
Yeah.
the worm from going up. That's like coming
Right.
up from the
Okay.
vents.
So of course he's totally fine. He's literally free diving and like just he's wearing a wetsuit. That's it. He wears a wetsuit and he just holds his breath. And they're all like, yeah, totally fine. He is completely fine. Because there's no air in his nose.
Yeah.
It's one of the best. I mean, that was the point where I feel like Sydney and I were just looking at each other in the theater, like, there's no way. Like,
Yeah, we had
this
a lot of
isn't
questions the
allowed.
whole time, but
But
That was a
done.
big moment.
He gets it done.
Yeah.
He
And
does
we were
get
like
it
laughing in
done.
the theater and like nobody else was.
Yeah.
He gets
They're like,
saved.
whoa.
This is what I
Everyone
don't know.
else.
Why did he get like he passes out
Mhm.
underwater 25,000 feet? So right there, I'm like, okay, he should be dead. But then he gets saved by the spy that's trying to kill him. But why would he? Why, aren't they trying to kill him? Why did he bring him back in just to like
I
fight
don't
him?
even like
Because
remember.
how
that
dare he
happening.
die on his own?
Right, true. Okay.
I've got to kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah, is that when they have like the Fast and Furious scene where they're like fist fighting and like
yeah.
judo flipping each other like on a conveyor belt
Mhm.
or whatever? I fully lost track of what was happening at this point. I
Yeah.
was just like, what are the other key beats to hit? Because it really goes off the rails here. And I know
Yeah, they
we've been
like
talking
they
for
get
a
back up
while.
there somehow.
Well, okay. I just wanted to add. They get up there and like they find a sub or whatever. The spy rides a buoy, like unlodges a buoy from the ocean floor
Yeah,
and
wait,
rides
yeah.
it to the surface, like very gracefully. Like, why didn't anybody else think of that?
I don't like that. Also, that shouldn't be possible and all that because the whole point of their like.
Why is it down there to begin with? Like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like whoever was writing this film was like, I don't know how to get him to the surface. That's sort of when Mac and the self-defense guy like kind of have their moment and like
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
get apprehended anyway and like I don't know. A lot happens. Oh, he gets back to the surface, the spy, and like kisses the blonde girl who betrayed them, only for her to die like 10 seconds later, and
Yeah.
he outruns the window breaking, which I loved. The wind like the entire thing smacked.
Oh wait,
He
yeah.
outruns it.
Isn't she's on the phone with like
Mhm.
whoever's in charge of it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
She's like,
some
there's
rich
no way.
lady.
This is
Mm.
megalodon proof glass.
And she's
Yeah.
like, she's just gotten a promotion. She's really excited. She's like, now I'm the biggest evil person. And then yeah, the shark is like, no.
Fun Islands. I feel like we get there. There's some fun recurring characters, Pippin and his owner, who's like running the resort now on Fun Island, I guess.
I will say when they're showing like Fun Island, like the people on the boat when the guy is proposing, because we haven't even spoken about the giant squid yet.
Oh my
No.
god, because the movie never speaks about the giant squid. It just starts happening
Yeah, it comes
out of
from
nowhere. It's
I'm like,
never
wait,
even
how did
talked
he
about.
notice that like his wife, his fiance got like taken off the boat. Like he'd see a shark.
Yeah.
It was the
No
squid.
one notices. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a weird, that was such a weird scene.
Yeah.
The girl like yelling about the ring and like she's just gone. Yeah, people just start like disappearing from boats. And I think we had seen the squid attack a submarine like a while back, but it wasn't like really a big moment because there was so much else happening. So it's just like this is like a slasher now. Like people are just dying. Like
I think the squid also
unexplained.
killed one of the people down when they were walking on the ground.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
But yeah, so Fun Island, it's basically the same as in the first movie when it's like a fun beach, everyone's on vacation, giant buffet of people for the monster to come eat.
Yes. The people buffet.
But there's like a lot. I just remember we were so confused because like everyone that is talking is just saying things that are just what? Like there was a lot going on. Like every character is confusing, but it was great. I loved it.
But yeah, this is the point where it turns into like just an extension of what already happened in the first one, but there's also
Yeah.
the squid.
Which was my favorite. This is probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I'm looking for.
Well, because
It
you
was
spent the
like-
first hour and a half going, why is this called Meg 2? Where are the Megs?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was. I guess that's how they came up with the title. Is they were like, the first half is the trench, and then the second half is Meg 2. Because really, it wasn't about the trench, and really, it wasn't about the Meg. It was like half about each of those, and they were like, two parts makes one movie, I guess. What did it remind me of? It was sort of like an All-Stars like edition where they just took like every monster we've seen at any point in the franchise and put them all on the same beach together, because there's like 18 megalodons somehow. There's a giant like kraken that just is never really explained at all. There's dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs.
Is that it, or am I missing
when the dinosaurs they come on land?
Oh yeah, and then they go
such like a Velociraptor in Jurassic Park vibe, where they're like really smart and fast and like good at battle tactics and taking down helicopters.
Yeah, because I forgot there's like that whole like subplot where they're in like Thailand, but it's just like a whole like, how do we get there? It was like they're in the jungle, and then there's a bunch of signs written in what looked like Thai, but it's never established that we're there. It's just like some people are in the jungle now and we're supposed to care about them too. And then there's like, oh, the evil woman gets eaten. There was so much movie happening.
Just too many moving parts, I feel like.
Well, there was the whole Jason Statham on a jet ski running from the shark.
Oh my god. When he's like on a jet ski in his little outfit with like, did he have like a flamethrower or something in his hand? He was holding something ridiculous.
I hope it was a flamethrower.
Oh yeah, he's wielding flaming spears like some kind of like Greek god.
Oh yeah, he had spears with like something.
Yeah, like he's some sort of like
potions.
It's just absurd. Like he's literally a superhuman. It was just like, okay, well, there's 20 different things that we're fighting, so each one gets about 4 minutes of screen time, and then they're killed easily, and it's like not a problem at all. So they kill like 10 megs in a row, and then the dinosaurs are like resolved, and then the squid is resolved, and then it's like feels like it's gonna be the big boss battle because Haichi is back.
Yeah.
And then Haichi just ignores them. And then the movie ends. And it's like, that's the worst ending you could have had. There's 17 monsters and you ended with the one that didn't do anything. Like, I get what they were going for, but just so anticlimactic the way they did it. And then it just stops. Like, the movie stops and you get like the most insane credit sequence of all time.
Wait, yeah. Wasn't there a
you
song?
Remember there was like a weird song. Yeah, there were a lot of weird music choices.
I cover
talk
That's
about.
Not My Name.
Yeah, yeah, which is a little bit like what they did. I think they did a Thai cover of like Mickey.
Hey Mickey, yeah.
In the first movie.
Okay, so that was the credits, and then in the credit, like when they're like scrolling, that's when they played like a Meg song.
Yeah, okay, so they had like the cover song as they were doing like VFX of like it was like oh my god, yeah. But there was like it looked like a Snapchat filter. Like the whole thing looked like it was like you ran the Meg through like a Snapchat filter. And it was like, oh my god, like cool, like neon sharks. And it was like, what is happening? And then yeah, it was like in Fast and Furious when they always have the song about Fast and Furious. It was a song about the megalodon.
Which is by the self-defense guy. I found
really?
out by him.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's
that
amazing.
makes it bumps this movie up a whole lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Chomp. I forgot about that. Because then we just sat in the theater going chomp
on this
for a while.
I think I wrote down that was my top dog of the entire movie.
Yeah.
That song. And we were talking about how they used all the songs at like moments that didn't make sense. Like, why did they save that for like just the 4 people that stayed that deep into the credits? Like, why wasn't that the first credit song? why
Maybe it
why didn't
wasn't.
they use under pressure like during the scene where he was in the trench
yeah.
instead of like
Yeah.
on the opening credits, like if they licensed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
They did
forgot
not
about
really get
that.
their money's worth out of that one.
Moving on to Top Dog.
Uh,
So we got any favorite quotes or moments or least favorite?
all of my favorites are also my least favorites. It's one of those movies.
I mean, I don't think
Um
anything can be him just going out in the deep
yeah,
ocean with nothing.
obviously S tier moment. That and the song. As far as quotes though, when he kicked the guy into the open mouth of the megalodon and said, "See you later, chum."
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. That was
Incredible.
like,
That was
That's
my favorite
man.
kill, probably.
That was
Uh-huh.
really good. Yes.
That was good.
Yeah.
I will say, I think my top dog moment is just that the dog survived. Like I said, I was not
Yeah.
like,
Mm.
yeah. In the first one, it's like you don't really know, like, because you don't really know what this movie is, going for. But yeah, I like that. I think Mei Ying like goes for the dog, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I have to save the dog."
Yeah, and they're all like, "No, you
Obviously.
don't." Like, that's
Because it's like just out in the middle of the ocean again.
Yeah.
yeah.
How did it
Just
get out
move
there?
somewhere else.
Just
Like,
yeah.
y'all are having bad luck near oceans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did really become like full disaster movie at that point. It was like disaster movie, B movie, horror movie more than like the first one ever was. As they're on the beach and like this literal kraken is like picking people up and eating them. Like that is even crazier than the shark because it's never attempted to like, at least with the megalodon, and especially in the first movie, they're like, yeah, this was like a thing. This is why it's here. They don't even talk about the squid. Like that felt like one of those things where like they had a scene about it and it got cut for time. Cause there's no way they just never address that there's a kraken now. Like that's insane. Even the dinosaurs they explained. So they had a whole scene about it. It took
Yeah.
place in
Yeah,
the
the
prehistoric
Kraken
times.
squid octopus hybrid, yeah. Like if
What
they're
if
gonna like really like bring out, the all stars, like you
the
need to like
ocean all
own it. You
stars?
know what I mean? That squid had no character.
Yeah.
It
The Meg
was,
had more of a character.
I guess, yeah. I
Yeah,
think in general,
was it a squid? It was an octopus, wasn't it? But if it was an octopus, why are
it's
they
a
not
lot.
utilizing I mean, even a squid too, because I think lots of squids can do it. The like camouflage feature of an
It
octopus
didn't
or a
need to.
squid.
It was winning already.
I know, but that's something that's so fun. If it was like
Yeah, the
sneaky.
VFX, they were like, we don't want to deal with that. That's too much more.
The final kill with the airplane wing,
Oh yeah.
I don't really know what to say. Like it was cool. But like I just feel like the movie couldn't find the right balance between like total like I don't know. Is Jason Statham's character is Jonas like human? Like does he have superhuman
No,
powers?
I think he's like sort of a Michael Myers type where like it's never addressed, but he's like something is definitely going
Yeah.
on.
What about animal performances? What was our favorite animal performance? Or our least favorite? Do we believe them? Do we believe the sharks' performances?
No.
I did like when Haichi was fighting the giant squid. The squid like choking Haichi, and it
Mm.
makes this like very like human face. Like it knows it's about to die. And I was actually touched. I I was like, "Don't strangle that shark." And then you think it kinda like feigns death, and then it's
Yeah.
like it comes back to life, and I was like, "Yeah." But it looks
The
so
amount of scenes that like you've described that I just fully like
Yeah, I
forgot
forgot
about.
that too.
There's so much that happened.
Jason Statham is going to ride that shark in the 3rd movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's good. Like I feel like it'd be kind of like I mean, we haven't gotten Dune 2 yet, but Timothy Chalamet riding the worms.
Or
Yeah.
It'll be Jason
Ah,
Statham having to
cinematic
like
film.
learn how to wrangle a shark and ride it, become one with the shark.
mm. Like an Avatar.
Yes,
Yeah. Avatar
exactly.
2. Yeah, VFX were
VFX,
fine.
yeah. I mean, it was
There
what it's
was
exactly. There wasn't anything that
there
I
were a lot of
thought
them.
that's really bad. It was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what this is. Like, clearly,
Yeah.
it's not trying to be the most realistic thing you've ever seen, but you don't really need it to be.
Jason Statham
Ruins the
free
movie.
diving at 25,000 feet. Obviously. And the Chomp song. We've discussed it.
I mean, the Chomp song. I think just the unbelievability of everything Jason Statham did, where every single thing he did was just defied logic. Like,
yeah.
but like the way he treated it so seriously, of like, of course a human being can do this. I don't think there's a lot of actors that would do something like that, and I would like have that exact level of believability. Where some actors they do it, and I'd be like, yeah, I could. I bet you could. I bet he could do it. And then there's some that'd be like, there's no way in hell anyone is doing that ever. But he's the right amount of like, there's no way, but okay for the movie.
I think my top dog, maybe that song they play when they get to Fun Island. Like, that's not
Which one did they play when they oh, yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, it has nothing. Like, I know the original song. It
It's
has
so jarring
nothing
too.
to do with the movie. Like, there's no like thematic parallel. They don't mention sharks. Like I think they just have this cover artist who I think is called Prim or Pim or something. And they're like, we just love your music. Like, do you want to cover a song or something?
It's like you pick any song you want.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like, it just needs to be fun and like,
You know those things they would always make you do in like middle school where you would just have the class like write a bunch of words that came to mind for a topic, and then it would make like a word cloud of all the
Yes.
words, and whichever things were said the most would be like the biggest word in the word cloud. It's like that as a movie. Like they just threw a bunch of ideas into a blender
And a lot of people
and
said
just
shark.
yeah, it's just every idea that everyone had just blended up into oblivion.
A lot of
like,
Meg and a lot of Trench.
yeah. And it just doesn't make sense, and everything is like barely strung together by a
See,
plot. But it's
I
just
thought you were gonna say in like around the age 2 where it'd be like you write for 30 seconds or for like 10
yeah.
minutes and then we pass it to the next person, and like it's never particularly coherent or going anywhere, and it
Yeah,
feels like
that too.
again a mashup of like 20 different things. It's like they did that twice for each half of the movie. Yeah.
Oh, and I love it so much. Sometimes it's like people are like, AI is never going to replace real screenwriters, and then like when this is like the non-AI, it's like maybe it will though.
maybe
Like I'm not saying this is like the majority of what's out there, but like Sydney, I sent you the screenshot from that article I saw, right? Had Meg 2 The Trench gone into production during the current strikes by the writers and actors unions, there would have been no reason to shut the production down. There is nothing in the sequel to the 2018 film that even comes close to being a script, and the acting is even less apparent. And just like, what a funny way to dunk on a movie.
Well, I guess on to perspective. What do we think comparing the two?
I when I did my research, I read that like even Jason Statham was like disappointed by the lack of bloodshed in this movie. Because in the first one, like, people are getting like eaten and like you're gonna see blood. And in this one it's like the only blood you see is the blood that comes out of Jason Statham's nose when he free dives. Like that's the
Yeah.
extent of it.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
they
it
should have
just
let Eli Roth direct these, to be honest.
Yeah. Like the megalodon, like I don't know, it just didn't. I was not scared. And even when it got really up close, like Chi in that like tank or whatever, she just looks silly. Like a little derpy even. Like
Yeah.
I just felt like the first one was more like like supernatural animal like disaster, and this one was just like a thriller.
Yeah, first one is definitely a better crafted film in basically every regard. This one is what I wanted the first one to be, which was horrible nonsense
Yeah.
that didn't make sense. Yeah, this is exactly what I hoped when I said that I hope Meg 2 is a lot worse, because I really wanted the Meg to just be a horrible movie, and it was like fine, which great, good job, but I was really happier watching this one, just watching the chaos unfold.
I do just wish it like I think the first one had better like Meg consistency.
Yeah.
And this one it was like not much Meg and then a lot of Meg is happening all at once and I don't know what's going on. I'm overwhelmed by the Megs. But yeah, I feel like that's also the first one's technically better, but this one's more fun.
More
Like
Meg
this
for your
one had me laughing at what like in shock.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, also on the perspective, like, why did you love the first Meg so much? Like, what was it? Like, how? What was your reaction? Because we didn't have you on for
Well,
Meg 1. What did you think when you first watched it? Like, how did you get
first
into
off, I
this?
saw it, I realized right before I went to college in like 2018. And I didn't and the second one didn't come out until I was graduated, which is like kind of ridiculous to think
Mhm.
about. So I'm a very different person now, but I saw the first one like it was with my mom because we just like seeing dumb movies, and like it was just a blast. Like I just thought it was gonna be horrible, and it was like really funny, and like everybody kept getting eaten. And it was unkillable. Like it didn't matter what the Meg did. Like it didn't know how to kill this dude. And like it knew what kind of movie it was, and the second one just didn't really know what kind of movie it was.
Yeah, I also wrote, "Why did everything want to leave the ocean so badly?"
Yeah, like why were they all like I feel like I mean, yeah, the like weird dinosaurs, but also like the Meg and the octopus. I feel like they had it pretty good down there. They had their own little world.
And they didn't need to leave.
Like they didn't need to come up and eat everyone. Like, but I mean, also in the second one, that made a little bit more sense. Of like, I guess the humans are down there mining or whatever. So now they're like, you're taking our town. We're coming after you.
Mm.
Could be kind of revenge. I don't really remember if the first one had that kind of revenge feel, but
No, but I remember you were hoping it would for this one. You were hoping it would be like
yeah, I
Black
wanted
Demon.
Black Demon was so bad. Like I feel like you you had such an opportunity for the sharks to be really mad and like have a purpose besides like I'm just here for a silly time chomping on people. I'm here for the buffet. But they could have been here for like the drama. I'm like yeah. Like it felt like it was gonna go in more of a like oh protect the ocean environmental with like the opening.
Mhm.
But then by like an hour in that was gone and it was just Shark City. So,
That's so true.
yeah, like that disappeared. They just kind of like the sharks ate all the people that were bad to the environment, but that was just because they were sharks. It wasn't like because they were mad about it.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't Jason Statham and the sharks team up to take down?
See, that's where I think they're headed. Like
Yeah, you think they're gonna work together?
I think they might.
You
It's
think
a logical step.
they're gonna sit on opposite sides of a table and hash out their
Yeah.
their
Like I said,
their
stop killing
differences.
me. Like so we should just work together. Like
Yeah, it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and let's we have a common goal. I hope so. I still want to see Shark Heist that I pissed. I pitched I pitched the last time where it's just sharks doing a heist and none of them talk. So it's just like lots of shots of just a shark dead-eyed staring at the camera and staring at another shark, and then they like go do something cool. Because it almost felt like Shark Heist when the one was escaping from its lagoon, when it was like sneaking in and breaking through the vents. Like, give me a whole
True.
thing where the sharks are trying to like steal a snack. Or I don't know. I don't know what they'd want to heist, but I think it'd be fun.
I was really sad when this one didn't have Finn at the end.
Yeah, me too.
Because that was just
That was so
oh,
In a
a
font that
moment.
we've never seen
I
before.
really thought they were gonna do it again. What is
Next one is
Who?
Don't Stop the Music.
I don't know the order.
The music.
Yeah. Oh yes. Okay.
Song.
I mean, we've touched on it all already.
Okay, I feel like
as the That's Not My Name cover, like,
Yeah.
really, like, moved me.
Did we hear it twice? Was it like we heard the original one when we first got to Fun Island, and then the cover was the first song of the credits? Was that what they did?
It was the cover was
I think it was
in
the cover both.
You get to the island and I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
the fuck am I listening to? And then the credits, I'm like,
It's
oh my,
so
I was like, wait,
jarring.
maybe they'll play the English version. Like, maybe I was like, no, like,
No.
it's the Thai cover again.
When I was editing one of I think the first Meg video, either that one or the Jaws one the other day, we were asking, what are some shark themed songs, just like real songs, not Baby Shark. And we couldn't come up with anything at the time. And then I remember that song that's like, Baby, there's a shark in the water. And it's just like a pop song.
I was literally gonna say,
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm so mad that none of the 4 movies we've covered about sharks have had
That feels
song.
like a have that playing on the boat when they don't know sharks coming. Like everyone's listening, or like somebody is listening to that with some headphones in,
Yeah.
and they're oblivious to what's going on around them, and everyone's like screaming and running from a shark, and they're just like hanging out on a
Yeah.
raft.
Or they're doing it as like sort of an ironic bit where that's the music blasting as Jason Statham is on his like flamethrower jet ski. And they're like, isn't this funny? Like,
Yeah.
it's an action scene. but
My
it's a
idea
pop
was
song.
put while they're like going down into the trench and they're in their little like subs, Yellow Submarine just like softly playing in the background, like elevator music almost.
Oh, and then we could go to
in the
Octopus's
dead
Garden when the
silence.
Kraken shows up.
Yes. That I couldn't think of any octopus songs, and so I wrote down Henry the Octopus, which the Wiggles sing.
no, like, one way or another. I feel like that was.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't done that actually. That feels like just the right
Yeah.
vibe for these movies.
Okay, I mean, on to the segment where we could talk about what would another version of this be? Who? So this is sometimes it's like, who would you recast? Who would you get rid of? Who would you add? Who do you like wish was in the movie? But also it could be spin-offs, sequels, prequels. What would you want to?
I'd say put like Christopher Walken in it. Like, he's the kind of guy who'll do anything if you pay him enough. And like make him like the greedy billionaire, and like let him get mauled by like the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
That'd
would
be
like
good.
that. His voice, like that voice saying all of the quotes about the Meg.
He should be like,
Yeah.
like star
That'd be
power in
really
this movie. I feel like
Yeah.
Jason Statham is cool, but he's like the only recognizable actor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and he's
wish
like a
the-
weird level of famous to like head a franchise. Like he's not really, he doesn't have that much presence.
No.
Yeah, I feel like the villain should have been someone.
Charlize Theron, I'm still pushing because I think she
Yeah.
would fit right into these because it's basically Fast and
I think
Furious.
so too.
It really is kind of like one of that guy even like makes a joke about like being family and
Yeah. Well, it's the same exact thing, because at the end they all sit around and have a barbecue cookout on the beach, and they, like, everyone has a drink and we all toast to like life, and that's what exactly what they do in Fast and Furious.
Which we need to talk about Fast and Furious 10, by the way. That was the first one I'd ever seen. Like, not now, but
You and Noah both saw that as your first one of the series.
It was
Oh my god.
life-changing.
My pitch is Fast and Furious Meg crossover. It's called Fast Y Meg 3. And my pitch for Fast and Furious, because they wanted to do a 3-part finale, was Fast X, Fast Y, Fast Z. So we're gonna be on Fast Y now. And Meg 3. So just smash the titles together, because who cares? This title didn't make sense. It wasn't about the trench at all.
Yeah.
Just throw words together, make it a bunch of IP as much as possible, and everyone who was in either franchise comes together for the biggest blockbuster of all time.
I mean, that would make like a lot of money.
And there are 2
Right?
Jason Stathams.
Yeah.
Or they reveal it's the same guy. He just has been
guy.
lying to them
God.
both the whole time about he is like, what's his
No,
real name? It's
incredible.
neither. He's some other guy.
I can't even tell which would be funnier, if they just never address that there's 2 identical guys, or if it is the same. Oh my god, I want to watch this so badly.
Okay, my ideas for Meg 3. Meg 3 Tsunami. And it's a big wave and all the Megs come to the city. Okay.
Oh,
Meg
that's
3.
good. That's like Big Shark by Tommy
Like
Wiseau.
Sharknado.
Shark in the city.
And a little like Sharknado, yeah. Meg 3 River Monster. The Megs take to the rivers, and we've got Megs and like big crocodiles and like, I don't know. So they're like showing up. It's like, oh my god, all of a sudden there's a Meg in like Egypt. It's come up the Nile. Or like, oh, it's came up the Mississippi. It's in the Great Lakes, and there's a Meg attacking Chicago. Or like, they're taking over.
That'd be good.
The next one, Meg 3 Venice. Kind of a similar vibe.
Just Fast and Furious again?
It just goes to Venice.
Or no,
so they
they
go
were
in the
in Rome,
canals.
not
They go in the
Venice. Wait.
canals. And they're like
Forgot which
chomping
one
on
Venice
gondolas.
was for a second.
And,
That's really good. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Those are my
Bangers. 3 bangers. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing as good as that.
Yeah.
I think the Megs should have like
Meg 3 Venice is just really funny.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
That's true. I would like if like the megalodons became venomous and everyone was like super worried about it, but it's not consequential at all, because if it bites you, you die anyway. But everyone's like, oh my god, they're poisonous now. And it's like, why does it matter? Like something like that, where the megalodon like levels up in some sort of superhuman like creature feature way, but like it doesn't matter because it's already like an apex predator.
Okay.
I would like something like that.
Megalodon. The ice caps are melting and an even bigger one emerges. Like, what's the movie where like that happens? Or like it gets frozen in the ice? I don't know what I'm thinking of. It's
like
not
The
like
Thing.
Maybe that's
I don't
what
know.
I'm thinking of. Where like
yeah, just keep getting bigger.
Yeah, and you just keep adding Meg in front of it, so it's like megalodon.
So you know these are based on like books, right? I made the mistake of like reading about the book series, so like I already have a pretty good idea of what the third one is gonna be.
Have they? So the second one was also, I only knew about the one book, so the second one was based on the second book.
Yeah, the second one is called like The Trench. Like
that's crazy. I thought they were just freewheeling completely. That's what it felt like. I can't believe this was based on something.
They weren't doing like a Game of Thrones where they ran out of source material.
Yeah, they really like they don't follow it to like a T, you know.
Is it going to be good, or is it going to be a letdown?
It's a pretty like I think it's a trivia question. I think I made later on.
Okay,
it's a pretty good plot. I think it should be good.
Oh, I'm excited.
Were we close in any way?
No.
It's not Meg 3.
I'll pitch one more just in case this one is right.
Yeah.
The Megan. It's like Megan, but the Meg, so it's like a robot companion that goes rogue. That's it.
I also just want to see. I want to see the Meg's point of view. Can we get one from? Like, give us a. Let us know what its life is like, and like sympathize with it. Like a
Like the
Like how,
Jaws 4 novelization.
or I was gonna say like do like a Maleficent. It's a prequel, and the Meg's origin story where we learn about
Oh my
how
god.
sad at life it's had, and it
Yeah.
recontextualizes the whole thing. Like maybe he's just trying to give Jason Statham a kiss. but
Yeah.
he forgets he has teeth. But he's just trying to like be a friend. You know, maybe that's what we learn. He's just really lonely and needs a friend.
You're on fire today.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are pretty good.
Thank
I would
you.
watch any of these movies.
They
Got a
should
whole
hire
franchise ready.
me.
Yeah.
I'm available.
I'll spread the word.
Thank you. Yes, tell the Meg I'm here. Where would you put the train? I would put the train, instead of them trying to escape on a helicopter, it's a train. And so the like dinosaurs raid the train, and like they're like scrambling over fancy seats and like knocking plates off in the kitchen. That's my idea.
Yeah, solid. I would say instead of walking across the ocean floor, there could have been just unexplained. There's like a train.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, great. Well,
Great.
you know,
That's
and they
so
do like a
easy.
one-line explanation of why it's there, and it like doesn't make sense at all. And then it becomes sort of a Train to Busan situation where they're being like attacked, but they're like all on the train still.
Maybe like on Fun Island, like because that would have been a really good like shark kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like a little like tram. Like
Yeah,
one that
like
you
that
just get on
goes
for fun.
down.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh, and the
it
train just reroutes straight into the
that's
mouth
what I
of
was
the
gonna say.
train.
It opens its mouth and it goes straight. Yeah.
Like
That'd
Jaws.
be really good.
That'd be really good. I thought of
I think that's
another sequel or spin-off or
Oh
something.
my god.
There's a ghost Meg, and it comes back, or even like it could be kind of like a zombie Meg too, or maybe just the dead Meg bones come back. And like it's not consuming anything, but it's still got its teeth to chomp things, so it's just needlessly destructive. Okay, well now we have to rate it. How many paws out of 4?
This one
After
feels
talking about him,
unrateable.
I gave it a very generous.
You gave it 4
Yeah,
stars,
'cause I
right?
just didn't want to like dislike it, but
Yeah.
How
looking
many paws can factor in your enjoyment too? Not just like the
Yeah, it
quality
doesn't
of the
have to
movie.
be.
Like we've given some confusing 3 out of 4s.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Like I really did enjoy it. It wasn't as good as the first, but I am like now committed to this franchise, and
Mhm.
I need credit where credit is due. So I'll give it. Can I give it 2.5?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah. Because I don't think
Like
it's
it's a
very
1.5
good.
star movie.
Yes, but it's
full
that.
paw extra for
With a lot of I will say this, like I think they brought back Jason Statham and like 3 other characters, and yet like I still like feel like they care about each other, and I did not want to
Yeah.
see anyone die, and they were all funny. They looked like they all had a good time filming.
Yeah.
And that's what I want out of these. Like I want
Yeah.
like a silly little group of superhumans.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's 1.5 stars. We give it a half a star for like just all the shark madness at the end, and then another half a star for the chomp song.
But is there another half star warranted for the 25,000-foot free dive?
Oh, you're right. So maybe it's
That might
only
bump it up to a 3.
maybe
That
it's
feels
only
like
a
too
half
much.
star movie.
Yeah. I have to make the math make sense.
Yeah. Who we got? Yay or nay? It's Liam's
Oh my
time.
god.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Ready for
He's
all
always
of your facts. I love yay or nay.
So
me too.
they're okay. Some are true or false. Some are like just straight up like questions, like I want to see if you know.
Okay, fun.
So there's 10, and some of them are better than the others.
That's
So
This
alright.
episode is gonna be so long. This keeps happening.
true or false? Author Steve Alton of the Meg series had refused to endorse a Meg movie script from the 1990s because it gave the shark the ability to speak. True or false?
I think that's true.
Please be true.
I think that,
I've
It's
never
false.
wanted
or maybe not speak, but like some sort of noise that's like that. That
communicate.
makes sense.
Well, okay, you're sort of on the right track. It's false. He didn't endorse it because it gave the shark wings and it growled, which I think would have been incredible.
Oh, I want to see a shark with wings.
I wouldn't have wings.
I don't know. I don't know where it
lives
thinks
in the
it's
ocean.
going. It
Oh my
can't breathe
God.
up there.
That's incredible.
Wings would be kind of nuts. Like that.
I won't.
If that
I
was
hope.
the third movie, I would be all
Oh,
for
if
it.
the third one was like genetic mutations of it,
Yeah.
where it's like some
Oh
have
my
wings
God.
and some have feet.
Like it eats some of that toxic waste they were dumping at the beginning. Like I think that.
And all of a sudden we've got like mutant sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they really need to amp these sharks up. Like
they do.
Yeah.
kind of over them.
Oh my God, that's
Kind of
funny.
over
That's
them.
really good.
Okay. Question 2. This one is also true or false, and it's not a difficult one. I just think it's so ridiculous and silly that this was in the trivia section of IMDb. But true or false? Ben Wheatley, the director, agreed to direct the film because he greatly enjoyed watching the first one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
You
true.
just liked it.
I just find it
That is
astounding
funny that they were like, "You'll never believe." I will.
Wow, I love the first one. Like, I would love to direct another one. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it would be funny if there was an interview where he was just like, "I wanted money," but like, yeah, I'm sure he said that he loved the first.
I love the IMDb facts that are just like one of these would be
sometimes
like
it's clearly
Jason
just somebody
Statham
making
was
stuff
in
up.
this movie. It's like, wow, what
Yeah.
a fun fact. Wow. That's crazy.
Or it's like just connecting dots that like really have nothing to do with each other. They're like,
Yeah.
this could be a reference to this obscure thing that happened in like fully a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
not.
Question 3. This is a question. How many books are in the Meg series?
12.
5.
Those are final answers.
Yeah.
I hope the answer is that
8. Right in
But
the
there's
middle.
like 3 spin-offs with the Loch Ness Monster, which I don't even think we have time to get.
I didn't even think of the
Oh my
Loch Ness
God.
Monster. That's so fun.
Yeah.
because he's
Wait,
in
so it's actually
Scotland.
11?
We're gonna have to go to
Or
school.
3 of those are?
8. Well, it's 8, and then there's an additional 3 spin-offs. So I guess there's
So
11.
that's wild.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
the same length as the Fast and Furious franchise.
I hope so.
The one that
so
he wrote
exciting.
one this year called The Meg Purgatory.
Okay, I was literally my answer was gonna be like 8, but I hope it's still going on.
Yeah, it's
I
still going.
cannot believe that I was
Yeah.
So
my wish was granted.
So they go to purgatory?
Shark Heaven. Yeah.
Or like at some point
I'm
in
gonna have to
the
start
Meg
reading
9,
again.
the sharks go to space, like in Fast 9.
It didn't look like there was any space sharks, unfortunately.
That's number 12.
Yeah.
He's working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that's good.
Here's question 4. True or false? In the third book, Jonas must save a reality TV show from the megalodons.
I don't even know what that means. I keep just saying true for all of them because I desperately.
I feel like
want
it's
all
not
of
the
these
third one. I
be
feel like
true.
that's the 4th or 5th.
Mm.
That's my
No, it's true. And that's what I think the third Meg movie will probably be, because it's a good plot. Like, so basically in the book, like, they have all, like, I don't know, they have this, like, it's called Daredevils or something, and they have this show that Jonas is a consultant for. So apparently that's a thing. And then all it says in Wikipedia is that the show is terrorized by megalodons.
So it's kind of like Fear Factor, but if one of the
I
like
guess so.
snakes got out of the container.
That's pretty good.
That is
That'll
kinda
be a
good.
pretty. I'll accept that as a third movie.
I feel like you get some good contestant characters.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it would like help it get back to its like silly origin.
Like it switches back and forth between like mockumentary and like action
Yeah.
thriller.
A mockumentary. They make Jason Statham sit down and like talk about the shark.
Yeah. Oh my god. Wait, yeah, the whole movie is framed as like an episode of the show.
That'd
That
be
would be
fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Found footage. That's the word that I'm looking for.
Blair Witch Megalodon.
Yeah. A
Okay.
witch megalodon. It just has powers.
Question 5. Also true or false. In the 4th book, Jonas's son must sell 2 megalodons to the royal prince of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
False.
I hope so. Or no, it's not Saudi Arabia. It's the Prince of England.
You're on the right
Yeah, I
track.
hope there's a grain
Okay.
of truth in there.
It's just some other. It's the president.
It's the royal prince of Dubai, who ends up being like a main character in the series. Like, you know, joins them on their megalodon adventures.
Wild. That says very. It's like the second Jurassic World where they go to the dinosaur auction,
Yeah.
and it's just like everyone's buying dinosaurs. Interesting.
Man, that's oh man.
I think
that's so
this next one
much.
is my favorite because I don't even understand how it could have gotten here. But it's a question, and I don't know if you'll get it, but in Meg Generations, Jonas and his best friend Mac are searching for what?
The Holy Grail.
Atlantis. The Meg's father.
It's much more. I don't even know.
The cure for the common cold, which for some reason is in the mRNA of the megalodon.
Close.
The cure for cancer.
Yes.
I was gonna suggest that, and then I was like, "That's too basic."
I just.
Really?
I was literally gonna say that. Oh my
My
god,
understanding is Jonas
we got
is
it
diagnosed with stage 4 cancer.
from
and
all the radioactive waste that he's
Probably,
been
yeah.
touching.
And so Pangea. When Pangea was a thing,
Mhm.
there was the mega ocean, and it was called like the
Yeah.
Pamplasa Sea.
Yeah.
And I guess in these books it still exists, or it's hidden somewhere. And I guess the cure for cancer is in the Pamplasa Sea.
Dude, I'm so mad at myself that I almost guessed that with no
Yeah.
clues, and then at the last minute, I slightly changed my answer. Can you imagine how
can't
incredible
really
that would have been?
That would have been really good.
That would have been so
Like
good.
that's so wild.
Yeah.
They have so much material. I'm so ready for
Yeah.
the rest of these.
Yeah.
They better stick to those.
I love that there's all of this in the books, and the author was still like, "No, I have standards. You can't put wings on him. That's ridiculous." Like,
Yeah.
I guess
He
they had
can
to
cure
start
cancer,
somewhere
but
more
he
grounded.
cannot fly.
Yeah.
Okay, there's only a few more, but they're quick. Which grossed more, the Meg 2 or the Flash?
Meg too.
Meg too.
Actually, which I think is like a very good sign.
I think I liked Meg 2 more than The Flash.
You saw the Flash?
I did. It was so unbearably long, first of all. Also,
How long was it?
like almost 3 hours,
God.
I think.
What? Actually?
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
like
God.
I think the Meg 2 knows it's ridiculous. I think the Flash was trying to, I don't know. I did enjoy Michael Keaton, but like why was he running around like flinging babies through the sky and like
Like,
running
why
in a
did you put
hamster
baby in a
ball?
microwave? I don't get it. All right, here. Okay, Harry Gregson Williams, who scored the Meg 2 and has scored every action movie known to man, as I found out, scored which classic animated film series?
What's his name?
Harry Gregson Williams.
Animated film series.
I don't know why I think I'm gonna be able to get it.
I'm going through the ones that I already know, and I can't track.
All of them.
That's
Every
crazy.
single
Oh my
That's such a
god.
different vibe.
I could think of
from an
Yeah.
who
action
scored,
movie.
like, every other animated film series.
It was like I
Process
was going through
elimination.
his Wikipedia and it was like The Equalizer, Retribution, Taken, and then I was like, Shrek Forever After? Like, how did he end up there?
Wild.
That's great. Good for
Okay.
him. What a career.
I think I'll end it there because the last two questions are good, but
Well, now I wanna know what it is.
okay.
You
True or
can just
false?
like tell it as
You
a
can just
fact
also
if you
just say it
want,
as a
The last
unless you
couple
made
one
it up.
was what megalodon translates to, or like what it means.
Oh, like in like Latin roots or whatever.
I guess I think
Big
it's like
shark, big tooth, big tooth.
big
Big
tooth.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say big
Yeah, I
guy.
feel like big guy.
Yeah.
And then the
That's like
last
maybe
question
another
was
gem for
this.
motionography. What?
Is a thermocline a real thing? Because it feels like the
Yes.
kind of thing they would make up.
It's
That we
definitely like
that we talked about last time.
yeah,
That
it's definitely not like the mystical realm that they
No.
presented to be in this
Yes,
franchise.
because we
But
learned
yeah,
about it in oceanography. Well, for our last segment, the grand finale. Any final thoughts? Would we recommend?
I would.
yes, recommend.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very silly and like you just can't have a bad time watching it.
Yeah, go see it at 10 a.m. in 3D in the movie theaters if you can. It's a good theater movie because it's just like the insanity is like even bigger and louder.
Were you wearing
like
3D glasses?
Yeah.
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 I wouldn't say most movies that aren't like, you know, like Avatar or something really gimmicky, like 3D, like really shot to take advantage of 3D, you know? Like
Mhm.
you kind of forget that it's in 3D because it's just a movie that they like did some plate stuff on or whatever. But there
Yeah.
were a couple moments that were like I like kind of jumped a little bit as something like flew at the yeah, it was pretty fun. It was good for it was a nice morning.
It's a good I mean, we've said it before and we'll say it again. It's
Friend
a good
night.
movie for friend night.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I
See,
could
you
sit
say yeah as if that makes sense.
as if you
Which it does.
all
Dude,
your
if a third one comes out, like I'm gonna market it like for free. I'm gonna go out
Yeah.
of like I'm gonna be like
Because I want them to keep coming. I want it to keep making money so there's more. So that we get to see the
It-
Meg cure cancer or whatever.
very profitable.
We're the biggest champions of the Meg too. Ride or die.
Give us more Meg.
More Meg.
Hello, it's editing Sydney. I think you can hear the sound of my laptop breathing, but we forgot to announce the next film. I think we did the week before in Stuart Little, but here for Meg after Meg 2 is Strays. Another one out in theaters. We've already recorded it, it's being edited, and you will see it soon. We've got kind of a special guest, and it was mentioned in this episode, so see if you can catch that Easter egg.
I mean, that's kind of it. Liam, do you have any? I mean, follow us on Instagram, Pawlywood Pawdcast. If you're listening, you can watch this. If you're watching, you can listen. Check out the what else? Liam, do you anything you want to promote? Anywhere people can find you if you want to be found?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. No, not really, but
Like, what's your username though?
Yeah.
Liam.
Just you can't just say I'm on there.
Well, it's like the hunt, like if you,
Okay.
Okay.
it's a little challenge.
I don't know what our
Yeah.
outro is because we've already done 2 episodes of what sound would the shark make.
Yeah, but we
so-
haven't heard what
That's
Liam
true.
Shark would be. So
Or the
we've been ending it with what make the animal noise from the animal movie. So like what would the shark sound would the shark make if you
It
were
was up to you.
Yeah.
I feel like in the Meg 2, or like the Meg in general, like I said, they're a little derpy. So it might be more like of a like, like Like they're hungry, so they're sound like inquisitive. They're just dumb. Like they don't know what to do. And also it's kind of creepy. Like if you were expecting a shark to like growl and it did that instead.
Can
Sounded
you
like
make,
That might be
intelligent.
the best.
can you
of
do it
any-
again?
Look up. Like,
Lightning can't strike the same place.
no,
No,
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
really
That's
good.
the best animal
But
noise
when they
we've
do that
ever
in the
had.
third one, you're just know I'm making bank. It was my idea.
On that note, I don't
Oh,
think we
that's
can.
good.
I don't think we
Yeah,
can end
that's
it
it.
any
Goodbye.
better. Goodbye.
Stop recording.